Boozilla.
He was ahead of his time. He was so far ahead of the curve.
Yeah, I looked at him like he was like a Jay-Z.
He was making samples way back then, you know what I mean? Before all this Kanye
And I used to look at that nigga, man, when I was a little boy, and I used to be like, man, I'm gonna try to be like that nigga right there.
Head of the Davis Criminal Organization.
Y'all snitch lovers. Y'all snitch lovers. Y'all snitch lovers. Y'all snitch lovers.
I'm from the era where niggas don't snitch.
Niggas don't snitch.
I came back to Denver in '89. I was 17 years old, was in the streets hustling within my first 6 months in Montbello. I had just moved from the South and hustling was all I knew.
When I first met Boozilla, I was a young cat. You know, I was going to high school in Montbello, and he worked at the record store out there.
That nigga had hustle way back then. He was hustling, you know. So he used to work at Russell's, and that nigga be in there jeweled out and that motherfucker working in that bitch. Like, this nigga ain't making all this money selling these damn CDs and tapes and shit.
When I moved here, bro, you know, I'm from Louisiana, bro. That West Coast shit we seen on TV. You know, Boo was the nigga that I seen with my own two eyes, you know what I'm saying, doing West Coast shit. I'm talking about coming through with a motherfucking clean ass ride. You can hit a nigga before he even hit the block, you know what I'm saying? Weed smoke just shooting all up out the thing, you dig?
So I used to go over this nigga Zay Booz, man. This nigga had the ASR, motherfucker, you know what I'm saying? Hooked up to the house stereo, you know what I'm saying? On some real shit, on some real shit.
You know, he came from coming over to my mother's basement, you know, just linking into the little shitty equipment I had to, you know, he opened up a studio out there at his pop's house.
That nigga had real studio back in the 90s, nigga, when that nigga did all that shit. ADAS, you know what I'm saying? ADAS was costing like $2 grand a piece. That nigga had 4 and 5 of them motherfuckers, man.
1990 motherfucking one.
It's a lot of niggas saying, you know what I'm saying, Buddha started a lot of shit for him, and he did for a lot of niggas that's for real. And don't be thinking niggas just be saying that shit, man. But y'all niggas think all these artists y'all fuck with is here because of y'all? Nah, nigga. You know what I'm saying? That's Boo.
I went over there and he was playing this beat with the sample, the message sample in the back, kind of. With a hard ass piano on it. And I had a rap that I had wrote to this other beat, but it went hard to that beat. I was like, damn. So I laid my verse and I called my little nigga Twiz. I told Twiz to come through. Twiz came through, he heard the beat, he wrote his verse, and we had let off. That was the first thing that we did over there at Zay Booz, was let off. That was the first thing.
I have to say that the real founder of hip-hop in Colorado is Steve Gibson of the group Tag Team. These guys were ahead of their time as far as this Colorado music scene goes. I came into play after those guys.
You know what I'm saying? It was some niggas for Boo. You know what I'm saying? Tag Team. You know what I'm saying? Y'all niggas probably sitting around here hating on that song and don't know goddamn me that song is from right here, from where y'all niggas is from.
Boo just had a way to bring everybody together, you know what I'm saying, by recognizing Rick, you know what I mean? So it was just a movement that was unstoppable.
I met Young Doe's Little Badass in 1995. He and one of his friends was running from the police and they ran through my front yard from the cops. They jumped my fence and I hit him inside the studio until the police left the area.
He had the little studio in the garage area, you know, and turned that into a real live studio, you know what I mean?
And then from there, you know, it just continued to grow with the more people we worked with, you know what I mean? Before we knew it, shit, we going over this, you know, the studio at his pop's house, and Sebo and them sitting in there, you know what I mean?
So many people came to my house, Sebo, Marvelous, Lunatic, before he was Unico, you know what I mean?
We all connected right now to this day because of that nigga Zay Booz, you know?
I moved to Atlanta with AWOL Records. We hooked up with Eric Sermon, Illegal, Too Short, Section 8 Mob, but the feds raided our house and we had to get up out of Atlanta. I ended up in Seattle, then Oakland. I ended up settling in Fairfield, California.
And he moved his studio out to California, you know what I mean? And then, you know, something went down with their company, the owner went to jail and all that stuff. And so when he shipped it back to my house. You know what I'm saying? He shipped all his equipment to my house and let me set it up until he found a building. So that's when, like, it got real, you know what I'm saying?
We started Elite Entertainment Group in '97 and it's been on ever since. Unfortunately, we caught the federal conspiracy case in 1999.
He had 22 counts of conspiracy. So that was with, however, they connected him, I guess, to 22 different people. So if I know you, that's a conspiracy. If I know you, it's a conspiracy, and it goes on and on. So conspiracy to distribute cocaine chloride.
The story of Boozilla's demise is a classic one of betrayal. But the lesson from his story has been one that's overlooked time and time again.
Gotta be careful on the phones, cause them folks might be taping.
Oh shit, talking big Latin, use the code.
They might be taping.
Oh man, you think they taping?
Gotta be careful on the phones, cause them folks might be taping.
The wiretap of Zebu Davis started in April of 1999, but the investigation had been ongoing from January of that same year. It was the FBI's intent to link a crack element to the ongoing international trafficking investigation, and suspected Zebu as that link.
He happened to be the only black person that they heard these Mexican dudes communicating with.
They tapped the studio at Elite Entertainment and began surveillance. They built their entire case based off drug references popularized in rap music. Cutie Pie, Heezy, Crumb, Smoke, Skiz, Skeezy, Fee-Me-Me, Zip, Heat, Strap. And they even managed to connect words associated with the music biz also. Tape, CD, beat were all taken to mean quantities of narcotics. In the end, Boozilla was part of one of the biggest drug busts in Colorado state history, totaling 85 pounds of marijuana, a half kilo of cocaine, 6 pounds of methamphetamines, 5 ounces of crack cocaine, 23 weapons, and $168,000 in cash money.
She just, you know what I'm saying, pretty much tossed me the newspaper. You know what I'm saying? I started reading it, man, just broke down, man. Heard about all these, you know what I'm saying, you know, how snitches is, and just, it's crazy, man. But
even with the wiretap evidence, the government may not have gotten a conviction if not for one of Boozilla's closest friends turning state's evidence.
And then when another nigga get caught, you know what I'm saying, what he gonna do? What he gonna do? Man, I'm gonna tell you everything, bro, if you just cut me a little deal. You know?
People, when you cool, sometimes people try to take your kindness as a weakness. And that always leads to trouble, you know what I mean? Or what happens is you get people around who necessarily shouldn't be around just for the sake of being cool.
Once the government had their snitch, they issued warrants for the studio and all assumed stash houses.
the homie Doe had called me like he went to Boo's house, boom, blam. He wasn't there, the door was wide open, come get me. So I'm on my way back to the block, you know, the 55th block in Montbello. I'm on my way to the block. As soon as I hit the block, there's hella T's, hella, you know, unmarked cars or whatnot, so.
I give it up to that nigga Zill, man. It was just a bad thing that that shit happened, you know what I'm saying? Just, you know, when the boys come, ain't nothing nobody could do.
Said this the last place you seen him.
Right, this is the last place I seen my man Boo. You know what I mean? After he got caught up, going through all the initial court proceedings. So, you know, I felt like it was only right just to not necessarily recapture the moment, but just kind of, you know, talk about how it all went down.
I love the streets and be in the streets and die for the streets and now what you say, now what you say. Come on, now what you say, now what you say. Come on, now what you say, now what